The US media has praised Ford. Incredible, absolutely incredible sales of electric cars in July in the United States this year. Sales are up 168.7%. Therefore, yes, Ford is an incredible success story, but actually, is this true? Is this entirely accurate? Well, the media seems to be telling you these percentages, but not the actual numbers. Let's have a look at the real numbers and find out whether or not Ford is a success story the media is suddenly claiming. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm the Electric Viking. Great to see you. A few hours ago, I was at a BMX race with my two boys, Jack and Cal. By the way, if you want to check out any of their racing, I'll put a link in the description below to their YouTube channel. And Jack, he won all of his races until the final. And in the final, he was leading and he crashed on the corner and his front wheel slid out. He had a big crash. And his helmet, zero. I have to replace it. I just had to buy a new one. It's another $500. Awesome. But, you know, as a dad with boys, it's quite an experience when you have this happen to you and you see your kids hurt themselves and then pick themselves up again and get back on and ride to the finish line. And that's what he did. When he crashed, he did cry for a bit. He was clearly pretty hurt, but he got back on his bike and he rode to the finish line. My question is, can Ford do the same? Now, they've crashed, essentially. Their electric vehicle sales, they've been pretty abysmal compared to what Ford said they would be. Ford is saying they're picking up the pieces and now going for the finish line. I'm not entirely sure that's true, but let's have a look at the numbers first and then make up our mind. Ford's electric vehicle sales grew nearly 169% in July versus the same month last year. Of course, we need to be wary of these percentages because percentages coming from a small base don't mean a lot. For example, if you're General Motors and you sold 26 electric cars in the fourth quarter of 2021, then, you know, a 10,000% sales increase wouldn't amount to much, would it? In fact, it would mean very little because they're coming from such a small base. That said, I'm sure General Motors would be happy with that number. Now, here's an illustration of how percentage increases can be misleading. General Motors, 26 electric vehicle sales in the fourth quarter of 2021. In the first half of 2022, GM sold just under 8,000 electric cars. Let's halve that and say 4,000 per quarter on average, meaning that per quarter on average so far this year, General Motors electric vehicle sales are up 15,000%, 15,284% to be precise, versus where their vehicle deliveries were in the fourth quarter of last year. Now you can see 4,000 per quarter is actually a pretty poor number. That's only just over 1,300 per month, which I'm pretty sure General Motors would not be happy with. But the media could easily skew this and say, wow, look at GM's incredible sales. They're up 15,284%. This is incredible. What a revolution. Everything's changed. General Motors are about to beat Tesla. They're going to smash them. That said, Ford was the second largest automaker when it comes to electric vehicle sales in the second quarter of 2022 and also in the month of July. According to Ford's press release, which didn't state any actual delivery numbers, EV sales this July are up 168.7%. Specifically, the brand saw EV sales rise compared to the previous year. Mach-E sales increased by 74%. The Lightning delivered the most vehicles per month, and e-transit sales grew 13.9% in the commercial market and 46% in government sales. The Transit owns 95% of the electric van segment. In fact, Clean Technica also reported that Ford has now delivered their electric trucks in 50 US states. 50 different US states. That's pretty impressive. Ford's sales from July make them America's #1 brand overall in terms of their overall vehicle deliveries in the US. And apparently the F-Series hit the 60,000 truck mark in deliveries for the first time this year, with the all-new electric F-150 Lightning having its best sales month yet. What about June? Well, in June this year, Ford saw a 76.6% growth in EV sales compared to last year, and in May they grew EV sales by 221.5%. All these percentages being thrown around sound pretty impressive, don't they? I mean, for example, in March, sales at Ford increased by 17%. In February, sales were up by 55%. And in January, sales were up 167.2%. All these percentages. Wow, they must be selling hundreds of thousands of EVs by the look of things, right? Surely. I mean, Ford even said themselves that their electric vehicle models helped the brand to grow overall sales by 36.6% compared to last year and 7.7% compared to June this year. In fact, Ford made another interesting point. The company's overall share of the EV market in the United States is expanding rapidly, as they established 11% of EV sales in the US in July. Over the quarter, the second quarter of this year, Ford had a 7.7% market share, with 4.4% in Q1. So they've gone from 4.4% market share in the US electric vehicle market to 7.7% in Q2. That's a pretty impressive rise. And it's true what Ford's saying to some degree. Now, if you compare them to other electric vehicle manufacturers in the US, well, yeah, they're doing pretty well. Honda America sales down 47.4%. Toyota North America sales down 21%. Subaru down 17%. Mazda down 28.5%. I mean, look at the Toyota EV. It's a total flop. It's flopped on its belly. The wheels are literally not staying on the cars. Toyota is trying to buy them back from customers. Crazy. So yes, Ford's doing a lot better than those guys. But what are their actual delivery numbers? Ford sold 7,670 electric vehicles in July. That number included 2,173 Ford F-150 Lightning electric pickups, 4,970 Ford Mustang Mach-E's, and 526 Ford E-Transits. Now, obviously, 7,670 doesn't sound as impressive as growth of 168%, and 250%, and all these other percentages being thrown around by Ford. But yes, credit Ford, your electric vehicle sales are increasing. 7,700 per month is not bad. In context, there are, of course, about 15 electric car manufacturers in China right now, all delivering more per month than Ford is. Ford is still not ranked in the top 19 vehicle brands worldwide when it comes to electric vehicle deliveries. Over the second half of this year, though, that will certainly change. Yes, Ford is struggling to ramp up production of EVs, but they're not struggling anywhere near as much as Rivian or Lucid are, that's for sure. Or General Motors. Ford, in fact, is outperforming General Motors by a country mile when it comes to electric vehicle deliveries this year. GM, in my view, no, I think if you're an investor of General Motors and you've lost money over the last 6 months, which you certainly would have if you own their stock, I think you've got a good case for suing the company. There's no chance, as in zero chance, they will meet the promises they made to investors at the beginning of the year and throughout the course of the third and fourth quarters of last year when they said what their EV production numbers would be this year. Ford, on the other hand, they're doing a lot less talking and a lot more action. It was really good to see them as well on Sandy Munro's YouTube channel, where they drove the F-150 pickup, the Lightning electric version, to Sandy Munro. He bought one of them and discussed the car with him. Jim Farley, in my view, is actually doing a pretty good job at Ford. A lot more needs to happen before we can say Ford is out of the woods. Certainly not out of the woods. Bankruptcy, is that still possible? Absolutely. Getting less likely? I think so. Let me know in the comment section below what you think. And as always, have a great week. It's probably Sunday for you, Monday. Be happy, smile, say g'day, say hi to people on the street you don't even know. That's my challenge to you this week. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.